How y'all doing, people? How y'all doing? Wait for some people to get on. How y'all doing? I have an interview today with Chris Miles from the NBA. He works for NBA TV. So stay tuned. He's about to come on. Chris Miles from NBA TV. I'm about to do an interview with him. KC Crush was good. Dex was good. I need y'all brothers to stay for this interview. Gonna be a good interview. I got an interview with Chris Miles. I need y'all to black beautiful blackness can't hardly see. I'm about to do an interview with Chris Miles from NBA TV.
Don't even do it, Kareem.
Yeah, I'm about to do this interview with Chris Miles. So you gonna watch the interview?
You know I am. That's why I'm up here.
I bet. I'm coming right now. He just joined.
All right.
Wait for Chris now.
What's
Chris, what's good?
good?
How you doing, Chris?
Chilling, man. What's up
Ain't
with you?
nothing. Ain't nothing. I wanna properly introduce you. This is I want definitely need my peoples to see this, man. This is a brother here. He's from Harlem. He doing big things. And my son, I have a son. He want to do exactly what you're doing. So when I reached out to Chris like a year ago, Chris said he wanted to come on the show, but you know he has a busy schedule. He works for NBA TV. You know he's from our neighborhood, people. So we need to support him and give him his roses right now because this is big for me because I'm a big NBA fan, and my son really want to get into what you doing, Chris. So he worked for NBA TV, Chris Miles. You know, people, here he is.
Yeah, man. What street you from? You know, I grew up on 139th and Lenox. So when I saw it, I was like,
That's where
hold
I'm
on, you
from.
from?
I'm from 39th and Lenox.
Oh, word? I must be older than you then, because I'm like, oh, do I know him? You know, when I saw the name of your Instagram, man, I was like, oh, maybe we know each other. You know,
Where on 39th and Lenox you from?
building 116, man. So yeah,
Oh, you further up.
yeah.
Yeah. 116. I know I probably know you, but I know I'm older than you though.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
I'm from 104. I'm from 104. 39th and Lenox on 104.
So that's like the long building.
By the park. I'm right by the park.
Yeah,
Right across from the
yeah.
park.
Right where
So
Big L took, you know, Big L had the picture for
exactly.
his album cover. Yeah.
Yep. So this is big right here. So I got one of my own. I don't know how we crossed paths. You was probably in doing the right thing. You was just being a park.
All the time, man. What's crazy is I think I moved. Nah, so after my sophomore year at Rice, I moved. But before that, that's where I lived. And, you know, I used to hoop in the park all the time. I mean, I remember the Blacktop tournament, the Blacktop Classic. We used to hoop
Yeah.
in that. And then Ali Mo
Yeah, the
used to be
black
in there
town.
all the time. Yeah, I played in that. I
Yeah,
mean,
so I coached in there. That's in 95, 96.
so I think I played. Nah, I would have played 93 is when I played in that joint.
Yeah. Yeah, we had the tournament in there. Yeah, that's crazy. We're from the same block. That's crazy.
Had the joint, the T-shirt had the man with the high top fade. I still think that's one of the coolest T-shirts, man. That used to play for T-shirts and all those other tournaments.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a blessing, man. It's a blessing. So you always, your phone is freezing up. Yo, people,
Oh, let
somebody
me
calling
just.
you?
Yeah, hold on for 1 second.
All right, all right.
Is that better? I turned the notifications off to make
Yeah,
sure it don't happen again.
yeah, yeah, it's better. So, growing up, you playing ball. What got you? Cause I know we don't have that much time. That's my son just joined up. Doc, what up? This he want to do exactly what you're doing right now. He interning. So this gonna be a little education for him. You know how to what you done and your path you took to get what you where you at right now. Hello?
Okay. So, I mean, sorry, man. I can't. These people keep calling me. So basically, like when I was at Rice, I graduated second in my class. Like I always focused on my studies. It was something I was always made sure I was trying to be at the top of my grade. You know, PS 194, Frederick Douglass Academy at Rice. And then when I went to college, I was like, yo, I want to be into business. And then I was an English major and I had several internships. Like I interned in the World Trade Center, then I interned at ESPN, then I interned for the NBA, and I started to realize like I want to be a sportscaster. And Stuart Scott was kind of the man at that time. So I got to meet him. And when I met him, he gave me advice. He was like, you know, be yourself, be authentic, make sure you tell stories, but don't try to be, you know, something you're not. And that always stuck with me. Like when I go on TV, I just try to be who I am. I'm never trying to be a character. And it's worked out for me so far.
So how long you been working there?
At NBA TV, 3 years now, but I mean, I worked in New Orleans before that. I worked in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, covering Ohio State, Roanoke, Virginia, covering Virginia Tech. So I traveled a lot around the country trying to get better jobs as I came up. Matter of fact, if you look behind me, you can see that's my joint from New Orleans when I covered the Saints. Anthony
Okay,
Davis gave me his jersey, you know.
yeah,
And then that's from when I worked in Virginia. Everybody signed my going away joint, and that's from Ohio.
okay. Oh, so you cover all sports?
So what's crazy is I always did, and now it's kind of like mostly basketball because I mean that's natural for me. When people, you know, when I get to interview people, those have always been my best interviews. And I mean, but I thought I did a good job with football. I thought I did a good job with baseball. But when you on NBA TV, that kind of takes off.
Yeah. So growing up, who was your favorite team?
The Knicks, man.
The Knicks.
Horrible. I mean, Jordan used to destroy us, and now I got to relive it all over again. But I mean, I like Mike too, but I was always rooting for the Knicks. I thought we had it in '99, man, 2000. I thought we had it.
Yeah, that it was close. You know, ran to the Spurs, and, you know, Duncan, you know, him and David Robinson, they just took it to everybody.
Yeah, we know now what we was facing. You know, it was like,
Yeah.
oh, he's nice. We ain't that nice. What just happened to us? But now we get it.
So you built a lot of relationships working at NBA TV?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, that's probably the best part of it is, I mean, you see the number I wore, you know, and I work with Isaiah Thomas all the time, so that's cool.
Yeah.
And then, you know, just being around Shaq, Barkley, all those guys, it's a real cool atmosphere.
So I want to know when you got that call that you're gonna be working at NBA TV, how you felt. What was that moment like?
It was crazy, but it was also like I always felt as if I expected to be there. Do you know what I mean? Like for instance, if you can play ball, you think, oh, it's gonna be great when I go to the league, but I expect to go. You know, I was
Yeah.
always pushing it like, all right, when y'all gonna put me on? Like I feel like y'all should be doing that. So I think for me, I always had that expectation of myself. So it was really cool, but I feel as if I was ready for it, and I'm ready for it now.
Wow. How your parents felt about it?
Well, unfortunately, my mom passed when I was 15, so that's why I moved off the block.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, so I mean, I hope she's happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then yeah, I don't really. Yeah.
Your phone is still staticky. I
Is
couldn't
it?
hear you.
Oh no, I
Yeah.
really didn't say anything at the end. I was just saying, my pops is my pops. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, because for this, what I really want people to see, everybody not gonna make the league. You know, you're a big basketball. It's other things you can do, and I think you do a hell of a job on that show.
thanks. And when you mention that going to Rice, I mean, two guys that played my position, they made it to the league. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of knew when I was in high school, like I am not an NBA player. You know, a lot of people have that dream, they hold on to it, and they try to keep going. I knew I could play, but I knew I wasn't that good. So I started thinking about it like my junior year of high school, like, yo, what else can I do? How far can I take basketball? And what can I do after it? So I was always thinking about that by the time I was like 15 or 16.
Okay, so who played in front of you on Rice?
Kenny Satterfield, Andre Barrett. I mean, they were both McDonald's All-Americans, you know? So
Yeah.
and I could tell from the day they stepped on the court, like I would play anywhere else, and I was always like one of the, if not the best player, one of the best players. And then I get there, and like it's another level,
Yeah.
you know. And most people don't get to see that up close. They always think they're on that level, but being at Rice, everybody want to be a Raider. I saw it. The first.
Because Gary Saunders, he's from our block.
Yeah,
he went to.
Yeah, he's from Delano. So Guy.
Yeah, Delano, yeah.
Yeah, Guy, Gary's little brother he was on the team. He was a year behind me, maybe 2 years behind me. So like when I was a senior, I mean, we were sitting there, we were third string together.
Yeah. Because I remember Kenny Satterfield was killing. He went to Denver. He only played like 1 year though, right?
I think he got 2 years. I think he did Denver's rookie year, and then I think he went to Philly or something after that. And Dre Barrett played for like 6 or 7 teams.
Yeah, he never could
Yeah,
really log on to a team.
He was just too short. I mean,
he's small.
He was that height in high school, like sophomore year. He just never grew. I tell people to this day, if he was 6'1", he'd be an NBA All-Star. But just because he was 5'8", it couldn't work. And I mean, he had some good games. Like I used to follow him and watch him. Like he had one game in Orlando where he had like 26 just shooting mid-range jumpers, and then when everybody see those highlights of T-Mac dropping the 30 points the 13 points in 30 seconds, like that's Dre passing him the ball. And I'm like, he was always around, but he was just so small in the NBA. Like these dudes are huge, man.
Too small.
Like John Wall, 6'5".
Yeah, and right now, a smaller guy could fit more now than back then.
Shoot.
Right now, you could get over a little more now being small than back then.
But see, that's what I tell people. When you say small, like people will say that dude's small. And I'm like, who you talking about? They're like, Kimba. I'm like, Kimba's 6 feet. Steph Curry. I'm like, Steph Curry is 6'3", bro. You know what I mean? It's because these guys are so big now that sometimes when you see a dude compared to them, they look small. But then when you meet them, you're like, jeez, man. Like Westbrook, 6'4", 6'5", big shoulders, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to think of who's a little guy now.
No, there's a couple like who little?
Exactly.
You have from Dallas. The Spanish guy, Puerto Rican.
JJ Barea.
Barrera.
And look how little he's 6 feet. He looked tiny. But yeah,
he's
you name one dude that's like a backup now.
But 6
you know
feet,
what I mean?
6 feet is small compared to them guys. It's not small to us walking in the streets, but it's small.
So it's
crazy. You can get a lot of them guys get posted up. Huh?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like when I see a guy, like I'll cover a dude like Markelle Fultz when I covered him in high school. And I see him. I'm like, this kid is like 6'5", and he has to run the point. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy to see that now. I think that the height has become just ridiculous in the league, and it's only going to get better, depending on how you look at that.
How you feel about the Last Dance documentary?
It's all right. I got some issues with it, but I'm also a Knicks fan, and Isaiah's my man. So I'm kind of watching it with drinking some haterade. Also, man, I showed somebody this earlier today. I'll explain to people, like, you see this? Okay? Like, I remember watching Come Fly With Me. You know what I'm saying? The playground and his airness and air. So all of that they showing in there, you see how many snippets there are in here? These are all like 20 minutes long. Like, I've seen it. So I'm kind of like, they missing this. Because I've been, my whole life, Michael Jordan was you know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
every Knicks fan I asked, I ain't seen one Knicks fan that's excited about that, the Last Dance. See, I'm a Laker fan. I'm from New York, but I'm a diehard Laker fan. Always been. Always been. Anybody could co-sign that. Always been. We'll go back to Magic, Kareem, Wilkes.
You'll appreciate this, Butters. Look at that.
What's that?
Look, that's the Kobe joint from the league. Hold on.
Oh, yeah. You got to meet Kobe personally?
So here's the crazy thing. I would have had the opportunity at All-Star this year because one of my friends, Karan Butler, is pretty tight. You know, he and Kobe were tight, and Kobe would have got announced to be in the Hall of Fame. So my opportunity to meet him would have been this year at All-Star, and he passed away, like right before.
Wow. Yeah, he did. Man, my son, it's crazy. Man, my son went to the Philly game the day before Kobe, when LeBron broke the record. We drove out to Philly, and my son will tell you, I was like, damn, when LeBron broke, even though I'm a Laker fan, but I'm like, damn, he passed my man Kobe.
Yeah.
And we just they stopped and we saw. I screenshot it when on the jumbotron that he passed them, and the next day I got that call. That thing killed me. The very next day, it was crazy. And I'm like a diehard Laker fan. My son, I named my other son. His middle name is Kobe. He's 9. He'd be 10. Your phone.
You know what I mean? Like all the MVPs in NBA history, he's only the third one to pass away, and he's certainly the youngest. So that was like we hadn't experienced that before.
Yes. How it is working with Karan Butler?
That's my man.
So because he had like a hell of a story. You know his story coming up?
Yeah.
From Milwaukee?
Yeah, man. We talk about it all the time, actually. And I met some of his uncles. I don't know if you know about his story. It's like his uncles were in the streets and all that. So
I know his story.
Yeah. So, you know, his one uncle, he was in Chicago, got to talk to him, chop it up with him. And it, you know, I mean, I would say we're pretty good friends at this point. Like I could text him or call him, whatever, just chop it up.
Y'all do seem like y'all got good chemistry. I watched the guys with you. It seemed like they rally behind you because you like new coming up. I kind of like it. So when I got a little interest in y'all, when I first saw you, I said, "Who this guy here?" Then when you start talking, I'm like, "Wow, Harlem." So it's big because these kids need to see other things.
Yeah, and that's the hard part, man. I think basketball opened up so many opportunities for me, in the sense of like, you know, playing ball. You come back to Harlem, whatever, but then like I went to Hawaii. And like when I went to Hawaii, I'm like, yo, I want to be able to go here on my own. Like I want to be able to afford it. You know what I'm saying? Like it just was one of those things where that was always what my mentality was. So it's like, yo, and seeing Big L, you know, rest in peace, but like I used to see him all the time. And when he like that was different for me in the sense like Tupac when they filmed Above the Rim. Like I got his autograph and $5, man. And my auntie was like, who is this guy? Like, you know what I'm saying? And so like I tell people all the time when they killed Pop and then Big L died, it's like, man, like I mean, anybody. Like, you know, those guys in my mind were like, and I didn't really know El could rap like that because I used to see him in the park, you know, and I used to
Yeah,
see him walking out of his building. I'm like, oh, I ain't mess with him. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was in them streets. But it's like, you know, I guess I always want to do something different. Like I was like, I can't be a rapper. I ain't selling nobody's drugs. What else can I do? And I was always searching for that. And you know, I hope this next generation same for them where they understand, like, man, you got it. There's opportunities, but you got to work hard for them.
yeah. 'Cause actually, you and him lived a few buildings down. He lived at 126. You 116. I was 104.
Yeah, because
That's
there's
crazy.
that big building. I don't know if that was like an old school or it was like an old folks home, and then it was his
Yeah,
building.
yeah, exactly. Old folks home. Yep.
Yeah. But he used to come out of his apartment. His apartment was like outside or however, you know, those the. And he used to walk out his door, and I
Yep.
would
Yep.
see him, and
Yep.
he would see me, and I would just, you know, I ain't never really talked to him because, like, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, he about to go to the park and do his thing. I ain't mess with him, you know. But
Yeah.
like, that's a real thing for me. Like, people don't really understand that.
Yeah. He's super cool though. Super cool. He'd stop and talk to people, rap all day. That's all he wants to do is rap. Rap all day.
Yeah, I guess like I ain't get to know that because I was like, I ain't trying to cross any. You know what I'm saying? It's interesting now, like talking to people like, oh, you like when I say I saw this man every day, you know what I'm saying? All the time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So any guys you look forward to working with, if you could work with one person that you didn't work with, who would you look forward to working with? Side
One
by
that I
side.
haven't worked with. That's a good one because I've worked with so many guys, man, that I can't pick any particular one. But let me think. You know what? I haven't done a show with Dwayne Wade. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
And the craziest thing is I've interviewed him, you know, from the like he was when he was still playing. I talked to him. But the first time I saw him, I didn't know I was gonna see him. Like he was in the I was hold on. I was coming out of the bathroom and I turned and imagine, you know, you just go to the bathroom, whatever I look, it was Dwayne Wade. And I kind of just said, oh, you know what I mean? Like I just cursed. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
and I could see he was just playing it cool. But I was like, bro, you just never know at work, like who you're gonna see. But when I saw him, it kind of hit me. But yeah,
How
man,
you like Atlanta? 'Cause that's where your studio at, right? How you like Atlanta?
I live in DC. I'm,
You
you
like
know,
Atlanta?
I go back and forth. I don't really go. I don't live in Atlanta, so it's all right. I like DC more. You know, that's yeah.
Yeah, DC is cool. I was out there and we went to Howard Homecoming.
Yeah, man. I love DC as a city. It's a beautiful place. It's like right. It's adult. I say it's adult good. You know, when you're younger, you wanna like. I lived in New Orleans for a while. That was great. I'm like DC is like I'm a grown man chilling.
So do you do any speaking engagement in Harlem? Like do you plan on like, you know, being a little more connected to Harlem some?
Well, yeah, a little bit, but like I got people still in Douglas, and then you know, some of my friends who went to St. Charles, they're like, hey, can you come back for career day? And then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try and do it. And it's like I do be kind of crazy. And then with Rice,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great thing, man. It's definitely a blessing. It's a blessing to be able to. Your phone doing it again. It's freezing up again.
can you hear me?
It's still freezing. I can't hear nothing. It's freezing. Yeah, it was freezing. I appreciate that, Chris. You know, hopefully we get up and you can come to the studio when you're in New York. But it had bad connection. But I definitely appreciate you taking time out. You know, we get into this interview. So yeah, that about do. I appreciate everybody who took time out. You know, watch the interview was good, but he'll be in the studio soon when he gets some time. So peace out.